Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a topic that every single one of us has faced, yet we often try to hide it or pretend it doesn't happen. Failure. That sinking feeling in your stomach, the voice in your head replaying the mistake over and over. It's tough, but what if I told you that failure doesn't have to be a dead end? What if it could be the most powerful tool you have for growth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, we're going to reframe how you see failure and arm you with concrete strategies to turn those setbacks into your greatest comebacks. First things first, let's get real about what failure feels like. It's not just about not achieving a goal. It's a mix of disappointment, embarrassment, maybe even shame. We feel like we've let ourselves down or let others down. The first, most crucial step in processing failure is to allow yourself to feel these emotions. So many of us try to immediately get over it or push the feelings away. We tell ourselves, "It's fine, I'm fine." But are you? Suppressing these emotions is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Sooner or later, it's going to pop up, often with more force than before. So, give yourself permission. Be sad, be frustrated, be disappointed, find a quiet space, write it down in a journal, talk to a trusted friend, or just sit with the feeling for a bit. Acknowledge it without judgment. Say to yourself, "Okay, this hurts. This didn't go as planned, and I'm feeling really down about it." This isn't wallowing. It's validation. It's the necessary first step before you can move forward. Once you've allowed yourself to feel the initial sting, the next step is to gain some perspective. When we fail, our brains have a tendency to catastrophize. We blow the situation completely out of proportion. Missing a deadline at work becomes, "I'm going to get fired." A failed project becomes, "I'm a complete imposter." This is what psychologists call cognitive distortion. Your job is to become a detective of your own thoughts. Challenge that catastrophic thinking. Ask yourself, is this really the end of the world? In a year or even a month from now, how much will this specific failure matter? Try to separate the event from your identity. Failing at something does not make you a failure as a person. It's an action, an outcome, not a permanent label. One helpful exercise is to think about a time in the past when you failed. At that moment, it probably felt huge, right? But you got through it. You learned, you adapted, and you moved on. This current failure is no different. It's a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Now we get to the part where the magic happens, extracting the lesson. Every failure contains a seed of opportunity, a valuable piece of information that can guide your future success. But you have to be willing to look for it. This requires a shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, "I failed because I'm not good enough." A growth mindset asks, "I failed, so what can I learn from this to get better?" Get out a piece of paper or open a document and conduct a personal debrief. Ask yourself some constructive questions. What went wrong? Be specific. Was it a lack of preparation? Did I underestimate the time needed? Was my approach flawed? Then ask, what went right? It's rare for everything to be a total disaster. Acknowledge the parts you did well. This helps balance your perspective and builds confidence. Finally, and most importantly, ask, what will I do differently next time? This is where you create your action plan. Maybe you need to develop a new skill, manage your time better, or ask for help earlier. This transforms the painful memory of failure into a practical, forward-looking strategy. It turns "I messed up" into "here's my new and improved plan." Another powerful coping strategy is to practice self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics. Think about it. If your best friend came to you after a major setback, would you tell them they were worthless and should just give up? Of course not. You'd offer them support, encouragement, and kindness. So why don't we offer that same grace to ourselves? Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness you would a good friend. Acknowledge your suffering with a sense of care and concern. Instead of saying, "I'm so stupid for making that mistake," try saying, "That was a really difficult situation, and it's understandable that I feel upset. I did the best I could with what I knew at the time." This isn't about making excuses. It's about recognizing our shared human experience. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone stumbles. Being kind to yourself during these times isn't a sign of weakness. It's a source of incredible resilience. It allows you to get back up without the heavy burden of self-criticism weighing you down. Let's also talk about the power of sharing your story. Failure loves to thrive in isolation. When we keep our struggles to ourselves, shame festers, and we start to believe we're the only one who has ever messed up this badly. But the moment you open up to someone you trust, that shame begins to lose its power. Sharing your experience can be incredibly validating. You'll often find that the other person responds not with judgment, but with their own stories of failure. Suddenly, you're not alone. You're part of a community of imperfect, resilient human beings who are all just trying their best. This connection is a powerful antidote to the isolation of failure. Of course, choose who you share with wisely. Confide in friends, family, or mentors who have your best interests at heart and who will offer constructive support, not empty platitudes or criticism. Sometimes just saying the words out loud, "I tried this and it didn't work," can lift a huge weight off your shoulders. Now, let's make this practical. What do you do the day after a big failure? It is tempting to either dive headfirst into a new project to prove yourself or hide under the covers and avoid the world. I suggest a middle path. Take a small, manageable step forward. It doesn't have to be related to the thing you failed at. It could be as simple as cleaning your room, going for a run, cooking a healthy meal, or completing a small task on your to-do list. Why? Because this helps to rebuild your sense of agency and competence. It sends a signal to your brain that says, "I can still accomplish things. I can still be effective." These small wins start to build momentum and restore your confidence, making it easier to eventually re-engage with bigger challenges. Don't try to conquer the world in a day. Just focus on taking one positive step. That's how you begin to rewrite the narrative from one of failure to one of resilience. Finally, remember that the goal isn't to avoid failure. That's impossible. The most successful people in any field are often the ones who have failed the most. They just learned how to fail better. They learned to get up faster, learn the lesson quicker, and keep moving forward with that new wisdom. See failure not as a verdict on your abilities, but as part of the process. It's the tuition you pay for experience. It's the resistance that builds your strength. So, the next time you stumble, take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel it. Gain perspective. Find the lesson. Show yourself some compassion. Share your story. Take one small step forward, and then another. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by how you rise from them. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope these strategies help you navigate your next setback with a little more grace and a lot more strength. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on personal growth and resilience. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one strategy you use to cope with failure? Let's learn from each other. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.